The Zantaren species, unlike most, is polyploid, meaning there are many genders and all are required for reproduction, resulting in a very low birth rate. In their early history, the Zantarans were separated into different classes, based on their facial markings which were decided by genetics. The class system eventually led to wars being fought, and some of the classes being exterminated entirely. Over time, more and more uprisings and influential leaders fought for equality, with force if required. The enforced equality meant that society slowly became a meritocracy, meaning the only way of progressing in your career or in society is through your demonstrated ability and talent, so nepotism became a thing of the past, especially in the military. Since most countries were almost constantly at war, military figures became just as prominent as the country's leaders, giving them a great deal of political influence. When the space age started, Zantarans were shocked to discover an artificial object orbiting their star Divok. They tried to contact these aliens as equals, but the only response they got was a nuke being launched at the origin of the message. This was seen all across Muvok, and many were frightened, and started calling for all Zantarans to be unified under one flag. But it was already too late. The Order of Luck started landing hordes of troops just 2 years after the nuke was launched, and only half of Muvok was united by then, and even they couldn't fight off the invasion. During the occupation, the Jonny species tried to force Zantarans to believe in their god and join their religion, and if you didn't, you were imprisoned or killed. Those imprisoned were tortured continually, so the Jonny were satisfied that you now believed as they did. The occupation and horrendous treatment by the Jonny caused the entire Zantaren species to unify, resulting in the hasty and secretive formation of the Zantaren Republic. The Zantaren military started launching hit-and-run attacks on Jonny bases, eventually capturing and destroying a few. Zantaren scientists started to reverse engineer Jonny tech, like shields, mass drivers, lasers, and the biggest prize of them all, the hyperdrive, that the Zantarans recovered from a crashed Jonny corvette. Although the Zantaren Republic has no shipbuilding capabilities, so the hyperdrive was not useful for the time being. But in the future, they believed it would shepherd in a new era of exploration. After 4 years of guerrilla warfare, it was noticed that the Jonny stopped receiving reinforcements for some unknown reason, but they were still getting supplies from the starbase they had in orbit of Divok. President Khan decided it was time to strike deep at the Jonny by stealing one of their ships and attacking their starbase from inside their own shields. Zantaren special forces were able to subdue the crew of a supply vessel that was resupplying a far-out Jonny base. The supply vessel that was captured was unarmed, so it was decided that the vessel itself will be the weapon, by detonating the reactor inside the starbase's own shields. A group of volunteers started on their way, and after passing a security checkpoint with the vessel's hidden security codes, they were given permission to dock with the starbase. After they passed the shields, the reactor's safety functions were disabled, and the explosives were detonated. From Muvok, the starbase is seen falling into the star, as it can no longer maintain its own orbit. With their Jonny starbase no longer supplying the occupation, the Zantaren military started recapturing bases and major cities, and after only 6 months, the last of the surviving Jonny fled the planet. The Zantaren military started a massive militarization campaign, not just on Muvok, but in space as well. A starbase was designed and built in preparation for another Jonny invasion, but it never came, and it's been almost 6 years. January 8th, 2200. After almost 6 years, the Order of Luck has finally sent a message.
This is not over, Zantarans. You may have defeated our forces at Muvok for now, but just know that we will return, and when we do, your primitive civilization will know the full might of a true interstellar empire, and you will become a true believer, whether you want it or not.
President Khan has refused to respond, as it might make the next invasion happen sooner, and the Republic needs as much time as possible to prepare. January 10th, 2200. 2 vessels have been in development for the past few years, and they finally are ready for production. The first is a military corvette named the Tumala class, and the other is a science vessel named the Hinat class. 6 Tumala and 2 Hinat class vessels have been ordered, but our starbase's ability to construct these vessels is very limited, and it can only construct 1 vessel at a time. The Tomala class was designed by the Zantaren Republic in the early 2200s to be a corvette capable of fighting the Order of Luck's navy. At a length of 80 meters and a width of 100 meters, it has a crew complement of 100 spread across 12 decks. The class has 2 Type 1 deflectors and 1 inch of nano-composite armor. It's armed with 3 Mark IV nuclear missile launchers. The class is equipped with a fusion reactor, chemical thrusters, radar system, and a basic combat computer. The Hinnet class was designed by the Zantaren Republic Science Committee to be a science vessel capable of surveying distant star systems for resources and discovery purposes. At a length of 60 meters and a width of 60 meters, it has a crew complement of 75 spread across 9 decks. The class has 2 Type 1 deflectors and 1 inch of nano-composite armor. The class is also equipped with a fusion reactor, chemical thrusters, and a radar system. The class also carries a complement of survey drones to assist in detailed planetary surveys. March 28th, 2200. The ZRS Yalturus has completed its construction, and is the first Hinnet-class science vessel. The Science Committee has selected Rald Vagas to be the captain of the Yalturus. September 30th, 2200. Strategic Command has officially formed the 1st Defense Fleet. It currently consists of 3 corvettes, with 3 more on order, and is expected to be completed sometime within the next year. January 13th, 2201. Strategic Command has promoted Commander Ganak Va to Admiral, and was given command of the 1st Defense Fleet. Ganak Va was selected because of their outstanding leadership abilities demonstrated during the occupation, when they conducted large-scale assaults on enemy strongholds. February 9th, 2201. President Valdemir Khan has formed the Defense Intelligence Agency, or DIA for short. The DIA's primary mission is foreign intelligence, mainly against the Order of Luck. The DIA's secondary mission is counterintelligence, especially rooting out any Jonny sympathizers on Muvok. July 6th, 2201. The second Hinnet class, named the Yalsima, has been constructed, and scientist Khan Va has been named the captain of the vessel. November 22nd, 2201. Strategic Command detected an Order of Luck vessel en route to our starbase. Command believes it is a construction vessel based on old scans of similar Luck vessels. The President ordered the 1st Defense Fleet to intercept the vessel, and if it refuses to leave the system, Admiral Ganak Va is ordered to destroy it. The President believes this could escalate to another full-scale war with the Order of Luck, but it has been deemed worth the risk, as we must prove we will continue to protect and defend our sovereignty. The construction vessel has refused to respond to hails, and has not heeded our demands to leave the Devok system. As per orders, the 1st Defense Fleet fired multiple warning shots, and still no response, so the construction vessel was destroyed by 2 Mark IV nuclear missiles. There were no survivors, and we have not received any communications from the Order of Luck. January 4th, 2202. The DIA has successfully planted an operative in the Order of Luck, using surgical alteration to make the operative look like a Jonny. While the operative is only a minor political figure, this should allow us to hone our espionage abilities. November 26, 2202. Captain Khan Va discovered that Fangkor 3 once belonged to an ancient civilization, and a large amount of infrastructure is still in relatively good condition. The Science Committee has advised the President that an archaeological study of the planet could be very beneficial technologically, but very resource-intensive, and would require a science vessel full-time. December 30th, 2202. We have constructed our first extrasolar outpost in the Omicron Octanus system. There is also a Mesa world in the system that the Science Committee believes could be a viable option for future colonization. January 23rd, 2203. Captain Khan Va reports that the gas giant Fangkor 5's temperature is exceedingly higher than expected for this type of gas giant. It appears that the gas giant has an unusually dense core made up of an unknown material, and is producing extraordinary levels of heat. The atmosphere is so hot that our probes cannot reach beyond the atmosphere's uppermost layers. March 15th, 2203. It has been brought to the attention of the President that Governor Vikal Voss has developed a severe drug problem, to the point where the governor is neglecting their duties. The President has removed Vikal from their position, and named Fan Pak the new governor of the Muvak sector. August 13th, 2203. Captain Vald Vagas has discovered abandoned machines on Cedar 4. These machines appear to be quite technologically advanced, and the captain believes that they should be transported back to the Science Committee for further study. The ZRS Kalupon, a Tumala-class corvette, has been ordered to transport the machines back to Muvak. December 11th, 2203. Captain Kanva reports radar contact with two separate aliens in the Stellaris system. One appears to be some sort of living space creature, and the other appears to be drones or probes of some kind. The President has ordered Strategic Command to find a way to communicate with these aliens if possible. If not, then determine their threat level. For the time being, the President has declared the Stellaris system off-limits. April 17th, 2204. Our detailed survey of Taldeeth 1 has revealed that it most likely carried life in the very distant past. There are significant deposits of frozen water at the polar ice caps and beneath the planet's surface. The existence of valley networks suggests that the water once flowed freely. Theoretically, this planet could be terraformed, but not without current technology. February 5th, 2204. The Zantaren Parliament has passed a law limiting the number of terms one person can hold in each office. The office of the President and any office in Parliament has a strict 2-term limit. This law does not function retroactively, meaning President Valdemir Khan will be allowed to run for president one more time, even though this is their second term. The law only applies to elected offices, not appointed ones, like agency directors and military positions. June 25th, 2205. Captain Kanva observed the planet Suzume 3 blink in and out of existence. This seems to only happen very rarely, but the captain has suggested we investigate this phenomenon with a full-time science team in the future. January 10th, 2206. The ZRS Yal Polan has been commissioned. It is another Hinnet-class science vessel. The Science Committee has named Jurg Cap the captain, and sent the vessel to survey the Homades system, which is out in open space. We have only recently discovered a hyperspace route to the system. July 12, 2206. We have recovered artifacts from an ancient civilization on Rio 1A. If what we have learned from these artifacts is correct, then this civilization was some sort of confederation that consisted of many different alien species, and they called themselves the First League. All of those species seem to have coexisted in relative peace some 2 million years ago. The Rio system seems to lie in what appears to have been their core territory. A map found with the artifacts indicates that the First League once controlled almost half of the galaxy before its eventual collapse. August 6, 2206. Parliament has passed the Technological Ascendancy Bill, which provides the Science Committee with extraordinary power and funding in order to rapidly develop new technologies. The purpose of the bill is to keep us up to date with the Order of Luck, as they appear to have advanced their technology dramatically since the occupation. May 8th, 2207. It seems some uncaring civilization used cheap Havonius 3 as a dumping ground for its toxic waste. Billions of tons of radiation, caustic and toxic metals and chemicals have been dumped and spread across the surface of the planet. Our scientists predict that a complete cleanup of this world is borderline impossible with our current technology. September 18th, 2207. Strategic Command has determined that the biological life forms that were in the Stellaris system pose no threat at all, and should be allowed to roam freely within Zantaren space. The drones, on the other hand, have been deemed extremely dangerous, as all probes that we have sent into the system have been completely destroyed, even though they were all unarmed. May 30th, 2208. Captain Jurg Cap has discovered a strange phenomenon deep in the core of Homades B1A, which has caused a lot of minerals and chemicals to fuse and react together to form very rare heavy elements. The constant tectonic activity has pushed these metals to the surface. With proper equipment, these metals could be mined and used for military and science vessels. October 13th, 2208. Strategic Command has ordered 4 new Tomala-class corvettes for the 1st Defense Fleet. This announcement comes after the DIA released reports showing a significant military buildup in the Order of Luck. President Valdemy Khan has ordered the Strategic Command to officially form a standing voluntary army. Just a few hours after the recruitment centers opened, they were overrun with volunteers, to the point where stricter requirements had to be put into place for enlistment eligibility. Training is expected to take years, but in the end, the Zantaren army will consist of 10 assault infantry regiments and 5 tank divisions. April 27th, 2209. The drones in the Stellaris system seem to be mining drones. These drones appear to be workers and custodians of an autonomous orbital mining operation established well over a millennia ago, and abandoned judging by the state of the processing equipment on board. The drones possess powerful mining lasers that have proven to be deadly even to our shielded probes. Strategic Command has recommended that the Stellaris system remains off-limits till the Navy is capable of destroying or disabling the mining drones. May 11th, 2209. The political landscape on Muvok is heating up, as multiple high-ranking officials are starting their presidential campaigns, including the current president, Valdemy Khan. The election will take place on January 1st, 2210, and the winner will take office on April 1st. October 7th, 2209. The DIA has requested permission to establish multiple operatives in various companies and government departments in the Order of Luck, with the goal of technological espionage, so we can catch up to them technologically. President Valdemy Khan has left the decision to the Strategic Command, which, after much debate, has approved the operation, but made it very clear that anyone captured will not be considered citizens of the Zantaren Republic, and will essentially be on their own. November 12th, 2209. Futurakop's comet has been making the rounds through the Divok system for thousands of years, and was repeatedly seen in the sky of Muvok throughout our history. However, the Science Committee has informed the public that it has finished its incredibly complex path, and has left the confines of the Divok system forever. It is now beyond the tracking range of our sensors, and is not projected to return to charted space for many millennia. The public's reaction to this news was shockingly positive. Many stated that this is a sign that we should continue to venture far from our home system and expand, but never forget where we came from and what we have fought for.
Live long and prosper.